Hi, I'm Eli.
I'm Max.
And we're going to be cooking a recipe from our brand new cookbook, Classic Recipes for Modern People. With this cookbook, we've taken all the recipes that you know from your childhood and made them in a new, modern, hopefully more delicious and exciting way.
So this is our take on a tuna casserole. It's a linguine tonnato dish.
Tuna casserole is something that no one really likes, and that their mom or grandma or aunt or someone made a version of it that was not good, right?
It's the one dish everybody makes fun of from their childhood and doesn't actually want to eat.
So the way that we do it is better, and it uses a lot higher quality ingredients, and it's not really tuna casserole, and that's why it's so damn good. All right, let's make it.
So we're going to start off by making the anchovy breadcrumbs. So we've got a tin of anchovies here.
And we've got some panko breadcrumbs. You can use any type of breadcrumbs that you want.
Take some of those anchovies and get them in there. When you cook anchovies nice and slow in olive oil, something really cool happens. They kind of melt. And instead of biting into this really intense piece of fish, it kind of melts, everything falls apart, and you can use it to season everything. So they're a lot more mellow flavor, and they season a lot more stuff.
Once the anchovies sort of liquefy into a sauce, they're done.
Turning into mush.
Olive oil, ready.
They tend to dry out when you're cooking them. So once the anchovies are ready, we're gonna add 1 clove of minced garlic.
If you've got 2 sets of hands in the kitchen, your kitchen cooking partner can start taking the corn out of the husk, and then we're gonna cut it off the cob.
So we'll get these nice and small. So yeah, the garlic's toasted and just a little bit light brown. It smells delicious, so slowly add the breadcrumbs. You want to make sure that there's enough oil to coat the breadcrumbs and let them toast a little bit.
You don't want it to be wet, but you also don't want it to just taste like breadcrumbs.
As soon as they're golden brown, it's a good time to pull them off. And then, just to finish them off, we're going to add a little lemon zest. If you put the juice in, it would kind of make the breadcrumbs soggy, and we just worked really hard to get them perfectly crispy.
Having these really strong, pungently flavored breadcrumbs gives a nice crunch to the dish as well. So I'm gonna take the corn off the cob. The way that we like to do it is you take 1 large bowl and then you put a smaller bowl and invert it inside. You trim off the end so that you can stand it upright, and very carefully using your knife.
Use extreme caution if you're attempting this at home.
Very easily and cleanly, we have our corn already in a bowl, ready to go.
All right, now we're gonna do the tuna. So we've got the breadcrumbs, corn, and peas are all ready to go. So we want to make this a really nice smooth sauce. So we're going to start by taking this delicious tuna. We'll put it in a blender and we will puree it all the way.
So you don't want the tuna to be from a can. What we're using today is tuna packed in olive oil. It's really good, high quality, and you want to use about 3 ounces for this recipe.
Anytime you make seafood pasta, a little fresh lemon is really nice. Kind of cuts through the fishiness. So we're using 2 lemons here. You add more or less to your taste. Okay, and then we're gonna add a splash of water too. That's gonna help get it pureeing nicely. And what we'll do is we'll start it and then we'll buzz in some olive oil as it's spinning. So it should be nice and perfectly smooth, silky smooth. This is like our version of a really nice creamy pasta sauce.
But there's no dairy in it. You want that type of smoothness that you would get in a cream sauce, but we're using tuna and olive oil instead. Next thing we're gonna do is add the pasta to some boiling water that's been salted. So we're gonna boil the pasta al dente for about 9 minutes.
About halfway through the pasta cooking, you wanna start the sauce. So it's almost done. We're gonna start with some garlic cloves. Just take the back of your hand, crush it. You do that with 2 garlic cloves. There you go. And we'll drop them into the pan with some olive oil. And so we'll let these go until they get golden brown all over the place. They'll add a nice garlicky flavor, but the texture will be more like roasted garlic. So it won't be like biting into a clove of raw garlic. So that'll take a few minutes over here. And in the meantime, we'll just mince this parsley.
Even though it's a creamy sauce in texture and it seems kind of rich, once we add the vegetables, it's actually a pretty nice summer pasta.
Okay, so we're gonna take out a little bit of the pasta water. It's seasoned, and so if the sauce gets too thick, it's the perfect thing to use to thin it out.
So the garlic is got some nice color on it, and now we're going to add the corns and the peas. So this is gonna cook quite fast as well, so you definitely want to keep your eye on it. We added frozen peas to the corn and they're from frozen. So it's totally fine. They're gonna steam out a little bit and it'll actually help everything cook as the moisture's leaving. And the corn is obviously raw. We haven't roasted it or anything before we put it in the pan.
So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add pasta and the sauce, and we'll turn our pan down a little bit. So we'll actually start by adding a little of the sauce to the pan with a touch of water. I mean, a little goes a long way with this stuff, so you can always add more. And now we're gonna add the pasta in there. We didn't drain the pasta, so there's a lot of starch left on there, which is actually gonna help make a nice, thick, creamy sauce. You want to keep the pasta moving all the time and keep everything cooking evenly.
So altogether we probably used about 3 tablespoons of water and about 4 or 5 tablespoons of the tuna sauce. And obviously we're cooking for 2 right now. This is 2 good sized portions. We used half the box of pasta, so if we would have used the whole box of pasta, probably all of the sauce would have been used.
So we'll hit it with a little fresh lemon right at the end. So our sauce is like perfectly creamy and we want to plate it really fast. So the absolute last thing we'll do is splash some parsley in there. Stir that like literally for 2 seconds and then we're good to go. That way every bite has some parsley in it and it's not just on the top.
And then in order to finish it off, we're gonna use those anchovy breadcrumbs that we made earlier today. We're just gonna sprinkle some of those over the top.
A little cheese if your heart desires.
And that's it. This is the linguine tonnato from our new book, Classic Recipes for Modern People.
Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoy making it.